So, today we're going to do some warbler ID. I got 4 different types of warblers for you. I got the Yellow Warbler, the Prothonotary Warbler, the Kentucky Warbler, and the Hooded Warbler. Despite the differences being pretty obvious close up, they get a bit harder to identify when they're off at a distance. So right now, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into each of these 4 warblers, and then afterwards, we're going to do a bit of like a comparison so that you can point out the differences yourself. Number 1, the Yellow Warbler. This tiny yellow warbler is the most widespread species amongst all the New World warblers. They have one of the largest breeding ranges, breeding almost all over North America. The yellow warbler is a small warbler with a rounded head, beady black eyes, and a short, stout bill. Adult males are bright yellow overall, with an olivey colored back. Now pay attention, because that word olivey, it's going to come up a little bit more in this video. It kind of describes like a yellowy green, but at distances can also kind of look like a dull gray. Oh, and did I mention, they also have like chestnutty streaks on their chest here, but like only the males. Yellow warblers mostly eat insects and can be found in wet woods, thickets, and along stream sides. Because they're so heavily dependent on insects, don't expect them to be showing up at your bird feeder. Instead, try looking for them along the tops of like willow trees. Alright, I think I've said enough about the yellow warbler for now. Number 2, the Prothonotary Warbler. The Prothonotary Warbler is a small New World warbler and is the only member of the genus Prothonotary. The Prothonotary Warbler is a strikingly yellow warbler. It's slightly larger than the Yellow Warbler and is like got a heavier looking body. Also, their bills are described as slightly longer and bulkier than other warblers. And the solid gray wings are a dead giveaway that this bird is a Prothonotary warbler. Prothonotary warblers breed in shady, wooded swamps. These forests often have flat, shady, standing dead trees with old woodpecker holes that they love to nest in. Most other warblers nest on the ground, in trees, or in shrubs, but the Prothonotary warbler is one of the few warblers that nests in holes in dead standing trees. The Prothonotary warbler is often called the Prince of Warblers. Number 3, the Kentucky Warbler. The Kentucky Warbler is a small species of New World warbler that's often described as quite sluggish and kinda heavy, preferring to spend most of its time on the ground, except when singing. Males have a bright yellow underside and an olivey back. Also, most strikingly, is that black cap that stretches around and touches the eye. Keep track of that. Touching the eye is important here. And then down on the side like a sideburn. Hopping through leaf litter and flipping it up with their feet and bill, the Kentucky Warbler will probe the forest floor for hidden invertebrates. They can be found in the bottomland of hardwood forests with a lush understory. Good cover for them to forage around in. The Kentucky Warbler's breeding range isn't as far north as the other warblers on this list. They normally breed only as far north as the Great Lakes. Unlike most songbirds, the male Kentucky Warbler appears to only learn one song throughout its entire life. Wondering why it's called a Kentucky Warbler? Well, that's because it was first spotted in Kentucky. Pretty basic. Number 4, the Hooded Warbler. The Hooded Warbler is a New World warbler, just like all the other warblers we talked about today. It breeds in eastern North America, mostly in the United States, but kinda up into the southernmost Canada regions too. The male hooded warbler that we're looking at here today's most striking feature is that bright yellow face, surrounded by that black kinda half-moon arc that's described as a hood, giving it its name, the hooded warbler. As you can see, the black hood there, it doesn't touch the eye, not like the Kentucky warbler. The black hood goes all the way around its face with solid yellow between the black and the eye. Apart from the hood is that olivey colored back and the yellow underparts. The hooded warbler spends much of its time in the understory, flitting about between shrubs. It tends to stay at least partially hidden in the vegetation at all times, only jumping up to take insects or to pick them from the foliage. They can be found in mature, deciduous forests with a dense understory, similar to the Kentucky warbler. Male hooded warblers often return to the same breeding spot year after year. In one 7-year study in Pennsylvania, approximately 50% of banded males returned to the same area to breed again. Alright, I hope you got a grasp on each of the individual warblers we're talking about here. Now we're going to get into some identification. When looking at these 4 different warblers, the easiest way to split them up right off the bat is by those with black on their head or face and those that don't. The 2 that don't have the black on their face are the Yellow Warbler and the Prothonotary warbler. Let's look at those 2 first. Seen here, the Yellow Warbler seems to be way more yellow right off the bat. But that yellow on the Prothonotary warbler is just like strong, bold, and striking. Looking at their wings, you can see that the Yellow Warbler's wings are like an olivey color with some yellow feathers mixed in there a bit. Whereas on the Prothonotary warbler, its wings are almost a solid slate gray. One more feature here about the Yellow Warbler is, if you remember, I said the males, they got that red streaking on their chest. Where on the Prothonotary warbler, that yellow is just a bold and solid yellow. The Yellow Warbler song kinda sounds like this. The Prothonotary song sounds like this. Now on to the Kentucky warbler and the hooded warbler. Upon first inspection, the Kentucky warbler and the hooded warbler look kinda the same. They both have similar breeding range and can be found in the dense understory of deciduous hardwood forests. They both have yellow undersides and olivey wings, and that black on their head with that bright yellow there too on their face. I think the most important thing to look for is that yellow on the face. On the Kentucky warbler, that black cap there kinda swoops around and touches the eye. On the hooded warbler, that yellow goes clean around the eye. The black doesn't touch it at all. Going back to the Kentucky warbler, you can see there that the black kinda comes down like a sideburn there on the side of its neck. But on the hooded warbler, the black there stretches all the way around its throat and down like a bib onto its chest. This is what a Kentucky warbler sounds like. is a hooded warbler. Alright, so I think that just about wraps up this Warbler edition. Whoa, it looks like there's another bird here. Coming in from the west coast is the Wilson's Warbler. The Wilson's Warbler is also a small yellow New World warbler, but this bird here is found primarily on the west coast of North America. The majority of Wilson's warblers nest on the ground, except in coastal regions along the Pacific Ocean, where they'll nest up to 5 feet off the ground at most. These birds that lay their eggs higher up tend to lay fewer eggs on average. It's got those olivey wings, but look closely and you might notice its black cap. Throwing up the Wilson's Warbler against the Kentucky Warbler and the Hooded Warbler, the thing to look for is that cap that's black and nothing going on the face. They ain't got nothing going on the face there, no black at all. They almost look like the Yellow Warbler, but just with like a black cap. Keep an eye out, because sometimes this bird will be found overlapping with these other bird species. Alright, so that's truly it for the end of this Warbler video. I hope you learned something about all these little yellow warblers, how to identify them quickly, or at least more quickly than you did before. That's the end of our video, folks. Until next time, stay fly.
The bird room. Woohoo!
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe and share and do all that stuff. Yeah, leave a comment below too, like Random Birder 69 wrote. Hey Bird Bros, loved the episode. Can't help but notice though that the male American goldfinch looks an awful lot like that Wilson's Warbler. Well, Random Birder 69, all I can say is no it doesn't. The male American goldfinch has an orange bill, and that cap there only covers like the front part of its head. Plus, those wings are dark black, so don't get your finches mixed up. The beak looks different and everything too, and it's orange. Not a Wilson's Warbler.